Hello, everybody. Ella J here on behalf of WrestleZone, and today I am joined by the Too Turnt Party Unicorn, Laynie Luck. How are you today?
I'm doing so good. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic to be catching up with you. Like I said, it's been like 2.5 years since I've
Yeah.
gotten to chat with you, and a lot has changed. You are now a married woman, so congratulations on
Thank you
that.
so much.
We will talk about that a bit later, but I feel like, like we said at the beginning at this, you are two turned. I specifically saw that you mentioned today that two turned is a lifestyle. Obviously, you are living it to perfection, to the fullest, but can you tell us what exactly is encapsulated into this two turned lifestyle? Can you give us more insight into what this lifestyle really is?
Two turn, I think, is just like full out, 100%, like 110%, just going all out with everything you do. And I feel like I truly do that in every aspect of my life. I play hard, I work hard, I
Yeah.
train hard, I party hard, everything.
You do. I mean, go big or go home, as they say. Go hard always,
Yes,
I,
ma'am.
I like that. I feel like a lot of people sometimes can lose motivation, especially with everything that you're doing. How do you keep that? I mean, sometimes go big or go home, but I know sometimes that might be able to get a sense of burnout or you maybe wear yourself down. How do you keep yourself motivated so you don't get that sense of burnout?
Honestly, I feel like it's not something that I do personally. Just like dealing with a chronic illness is something that
Yes.
like takes me out of the game so many times. Like I get so many things taken away from me. That is just like I'm always just ready to get right back into it. When you have to be on the sideline for something you can't control, like you're just always eager to get back and get better and keep going. So it's like I don't ever really get too much time to where things are going really, really good. So it's just always a constant gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta keep back.
I mean, that makes sense. And we've spoken about that personally in the past. And your tattoo that kind of signifies everything that you've gone through, and all of that. But kind of speaking of getting turned, we are in the midst of the holiday season. Before we get into more about your plans for this upcoming Christmas season, how invested are you in the Christmas holiday? Because I feel like there's a spectrum of people's not fandom, but like dedication to the holiday.
Yeah, I'm not like obsessed or crazy, but I do love some Christmas. You have to put up, I love decorating, I love changing the space. That's what I was doing all morning today. I got that little bug in me that is like, things need to change, things need to move. So I love decorating and just the holiday spirit. Everyone's kind of cheery and a little more giving to others, like just a little more understanding and patient, it feels like. So I really appreciate that. But I'm not like, I'm gonna watch a Christmas movie every day and
Yeah.
do all this stuff. But I want to go hang out with my friends and make some mulled wine and watch a Christmas movie or two and sit outside and watch the snow and that kind of stuff.
What are some of your go-to Christmas movies? Not all the time, but I feel like everybody has a few that they kind of just thoroughly enjoy.
I don't know. I feel like Elf is always every year you can watch that. That never gets old. And what's the one? A Christmas Story or whatever. You're gonna shoot your eye
Yes.
out, kid. That one.
Yeah, those are some good ones. Christmas Vacation is always a favorite of
Oh
mine.
yeah,
Super
that's
funny.
fun.
Always, I mean, that's always a classic too. Kind of just in general, your childhood and your early adulthood now. What have been some of your favorite holiday memories, whether it was getting a gift, a family moment? I'm sure you've had some wrestling related Christmas moments too as well. What are some ones that stick out to you?
I think one of the main ones in recent memory is I want to say it was like Christmas that I surprised my sister. Like she went to go see my mom and she didn't know that I was coming as well. And so it was just this big, huge surprise. I hadn't seen her in I think almost 2 years at that point. It had been a very long time since I had seen them or the rest of my family. So that always holds a special place in my heart. That was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, does your family too? I know decorating is one thing, food is a whole other topic that we could talk about. But did your family growing up or even now have any specific traditions or routines for the holiday season?
Yeah, I'd say the main one is we always opened a present on Christmas Eve. And I think every time, or if not 90% of the time, it was a pair of matching pajamas. So me and my sister could wake up in our little matching PJs and open our presents together. But it was always something I always looked forward to the Christmas PJs.
And I know you look forward to your trap Christmas music,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Music is a whole other element, but when I saw that you're really into trap Christmas music, I was really intrigued because I don't know much about it. Can you kind of explain what this genre sounds like and what are some songs or artists that you listen to in this particular genre?
It's honestly just all the big Christmas songs that you can think of, like uh I'm trying to think of any names. Like, Ariana Grande has hers. I
Yeah.
think Justin Bieber has a Christmas song. Any Christmas song, they just like do that, but like throw a trap beat behind it. So, you get the holiday vibes, but then you also get to turn up.
Okay, yeah, I feel like that's just on theme with who you are. Get to, turn to the holiday season. I get you. I get you. What is your general music taste like?
Oh my gosh, it's everything. I'd say anything except for like country is like sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay.
And then if it's like the metalcore screaming, like maybe if I'm at the gym, use one or two of those. But for the most part, I would say like hip hop, R&B, pop, etc. Like it goes from Rihanna to freaking The Weekend. Let's go to Justin Bieber. We can go to Britney Spears. We can go anywhere. I would say maybe the most is like pop or hip hop.
Okay, okay. I don't I know I love going to concerts. I don't know if you even have time to do that, but what has been the most recent concert that you've been to?
Most recent. I don't go to a lot of concerts, especially for wrestling.
Yeah.
I think the last one I went to was Childish Gambino, like
Oh,
forever ago, in a little basement, like club thing where there's maybe 300, maybe 300 people.
yeah.
It was very underground and very cool. I think it was right before he got like, I mean, like he's always
Yeah.
been big, but like before he was like in community and like huge and whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I figured that was kind of the case. You're a very busy woman. You're also a married woman. This is going to be your first Christmas as a married woman. You got married
It
to
is. Fuck
GPA
you.
earlier this year. Congratulations on
Thank
that, by the
you.
way. How has the married life been treating you so far?
Honestly, not much different than, before. It's just like you feel, you get that little reminder on your hand every time you look down that this is a forever commitment. But we've just been together for what, like 5, maybe almost 6 years now. And we've just been really committed to each other like since day one. And so everything's good. He's been my support system through this last year of all these health problems and surgeries and whatever I went through. He's been my rock through it. And so it's very nice to just know that I have a teammate, a partner for forever and ever and ever.
It's especially great, especially in wrestling where it's, dog eat dog and competitive that you have a support system that can, I mean, not only motivate you physically, but like mentally too as well. And personally in all those aspects, you have a best friend right at your disposal right there. And you guys had your honeymoon in Jamaica, right?
Yeah, we sure did. Oh my
Tell
gosh, it's
us more
beautiful.
about that trip, what you did, what you ate, what you saw, everything.
We didn't do too much crazy eating. I would say there was like this breakfast buffet that we went to every day that had like French toast made out of like a brioche bread, and we smashed that every single day. But there was like different restaurants. They had like a Mexican place, Italian, a French. So we just like tried every single one of those every night. But mostly we woke up, we went to the beach, we got out in the sun, we went to the pool, we went to the beach, we took a nap, we went back out to the pool, we got dinner. It was just a lot of sleeping and a lot of laying around, which is our perfect ideal vacation.
That sounds like pretty ideal. You're go, go, go all the time, kind of
Yeah.
chilling out, especially like I think this was around spring, summer. I know it
Yeah,
was
end of
like
April.
Yeah, yeah. So like spring. So like in Jamaica around that time, it's gotta look beautiful. I'm a little jealous of that, not gonna lie. But you deserve it. And I mean, together, you and GPA have also won the Freelance Tag Team Championships,
Yep.
right behind you, where you defeated the Bang Bros in June. So after your honeymoon, you kind of came back into the scene and won the titles. I believe this was your first tag team title win with GPA.
Yes.
Yeah, so take us back to that moment. What emotions were you feeling? You've won singles championships before, but this is kind of a different dynamic. What emotions were you feeling upon this tag team title win with GPA?
It's honestly like hard to just put it down to one, because it's just like I always thought of freelance as like this dream goal promotion, and then to move up here and get in it and be one of the main players and then win a title with my best friend right beside me and getting to like do every match with him at these big shows and have his support right there in the ring with me. It was just like a dream. Like I just felt I was really happy. I was like really emotional that like, the Bang Bros are so loved at freelance, and to just be the ones to
Yeah.
rip that out of their hands and be the one that end like such a good, like well loved reign. It was just really cool. It was like a huge, huge goal off the checklist to hold a title at this kind of company, and especially to do it with my husband and to come and
Yeah.
to get them when we got married, like I felt like it was just a perfect little story. Like we tried before and it wasn't quite enough, and then we, commit to each other and get married and come back and win the titles. Like, I don't know, it's kind of a perfect little story.
I'm curious for you too. You've obviously known GPA for a while. You've trained alongside him. You're living with him. You're married now. But can you talk about the dynamic of tag teaming with your significant other? I feel like that can be really cool, but also like I don't know, I feel like it's just an added layer. Talk about this dynamic of tag teaming with him.
I could definitely like see how there could be, some creative problems, maybe some tension with other people.
Yeah.
But me and Jeff, we're literally just so understanding of each other, and we're focused on the same things, and we want the same outcomes of things. And so it's just like we're always just working together in such cohesion. There's hardly a time where we're like fighting about we should do this, or I want to go here, or I want to do that. It's very much like we're always like, yep, we're gonna do this. Yep, we're gonna do that. Okay, cool.
Can you kind of talk about too, obviously you're working together all the time in and outside of the ring. What are some things that you have taken or absorbed? Because I feel like you can rub off on each other. What are some things that you've taken from him or maybe learned from him and kind of vice versa? What do you think he has maybe learned or taken from you through working with you?
I think from me, maybe he's learned to be a little more fun, and not just big, angry, grr, I'm a
Yeah.
bad guy. Yay. It's like, listen, we can have a little fun. We can be a little silly, a little goofy
Mhm.
too while we do all this. And just, I feel like us together, we've like been able to show a little more depth to our characters. Like we bring a little bit out of each other for sure. And as far as what I've learned from him, pretty much everything I know. Like any lucha I know, he's really good at tag psychology and like um just all the tag moves that we have come from him sending me cool stuff, and maybe we could put a twist on this or a twist on that or whatever. So just the in ring is very much heavy on him.
Okay, you too have to give yourself some credit now. You're going to be coming up on 9 years in 2024 since your
Crazy.
debut. I mean, you're inching towards that decade mark
I
already. Time flies
know.
by so
Ugh.
fast. And 2024 is right around the corner. In an ideal world, assuming you still head into 2024 as champions, if you could defend the tag team titles against another wrestling couple, past or present,
Hmm.
who would it be and why?
A wrestling couple? Listen, yeah. It would definitely have to be Tony Storm and her man. Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
love Toni Storm, such a huge fan, especially what she's doing right now with like the black and white and
Yeah.
Hollywood and everything. Like I think that would be like the top tier wrestling couples dream match.
I also just want to see you trying to get Toni Storm to go turnt because she's so like classy and timeless, and meanwhile
Right?
you're trying to get her to like loosen up and party. I would just want to see
Yeah.
that dynamic play out just in general too. So like hello at bookers out there. Just book the singles match too as well. Just saying.
Literally, if
Like
we could just have the singles, I'll be okay with that too.
I would love to see that play out, but I wanted to touch on another AEW match, one in particular, because there was a lot of significance behind it for you. Talking about your match against Athena last year on AEW Dark Elevation. It wasn't a long match, but I know Athena was a huge reason of why you signed up for wrestling school. So, can you talk about this dynamic and more about the backstory behind this match and your relationship with Athena?
Yeah, it was like when I saw those names next to each other on the board, I was like, are you so serious right
Mhm.
now? Are you joking? The champion, Athena. Yeah, I was kind of freaking out, not gonna lie. And I had to tell her, you're the one of the reasons I started wrestling. I saw her wrestle Barbie Hayden at ACW 10 freaking years ago at this point, and they were just doing the coolest stuff and just really fighting, not like playing around or whatever. They were fighting, and I was like, this is so cool that girls can do this. And so it was really cool to be able to like tell her like, hey, you're one of the reasons I started, and then to have her respect after the match. And we had nice little moments, and she was really kind to me afterwards, and it was cool. She invited me to come like train with her, and so whenever I can get back down to Texas, I want to pop in and learn some more from the champ. And that was awesome. And especially just to like the ROH champion, like ROH is the only
Yeah.
thing that I've really cared about in this whole big business. It's like ROH is really what I watch, what I study, that style is what I really like. So it was very cool in all
I'm cu
sorts.
I'm curious, what about Ring of Honor specifically? You said the style, but what about it more so like draws you also had an ROH match kind of fairly recently, so congratulations on that. But what about the ROH brand specifically kind of draws you in and keeps your attention going?
I think it's just like the intensity. Like I don't know what years it was back in the day, but when Sami Zayn, wow, am I really gonna blank
El
out?
Generico, yeah.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. El Generico and Kevin Steen and the Young Bucks and all that, like when they were just doing all this stuff and being intense, and like the storylines were like so good. Because like I like the storylines part of wrestling, but I don't like to be too much surface level drama and whatever. Like I
Yeah.
want there to be like reasons behind stuff, and I feel like there were reasons behind stuff, and everything was just so intense. They're doing such like my mind was being blown like in every single match with stuff happening, and so I always wanted to emulate that. I want people to see a match of mine and be like, whoa, I didn't know. This is not at all what I expected when I saw Laynie Luck advertised.
Yeah, I mean, you've got multiple sides to you. You're obviously really charismatic and exciting, but there's also Lucha Laney too when she comes out in her mask too. But you mentioned training alongside Athena, but you also recently had another training session with Impact Knockouts Champion
Bro,
Trinity. You said that her passion really inspired you. So tell us more about this experience of training alongside Trinity and what you learned or took away from it.
what a legend, first of all. Like, I have loved Trinity since she was a fuckadactyl. Like, that's when I
Mhm.
really first started watching wrestling, is when she was doing that. And then when the glow, I remember the debut of the glow, and I was
Mhm.
so excited for her. So, because I always thought she's so good. She should be holding a title, she should
Agreed.
be someone this is centered around. And that was my girl. And I was so, so very excited. And then for her to, you know, when she went to Impact, I was like, that's so cool. Like maybe things are a little more in reach now to like be around her, maybe have a match with her someday. And then for Ali to tell me, hey, Trin is gonna stop by and train, I said, you're yanking my chain. You're playing with me right now. I will lose my mind if she actually shows up. And then like her flight was like delayed and she was like running real late. She literally still just like hopped right off the plane, got her rental car, and came right to the training building. And it's like she could have just said, hey guys, so sorry, things are a little late, not gonna come, not gonna make it. But she did, and she just hopped right in there and ran these crazy things that we were running, even though, you know, it's not her training place. She doesn't know the drills that we do, the things that we do. And just to be able to see her to like adapt so quick, you know, like we're in there in the moment and I'm saying XYZ and she's immediately making like XYZ happen. And it was very cool to like, because that's probably one of the first times besides like Ali that I was like
Yeah.
there with someone who's like been on TV for such a
Yeah.
long time. And so just to finally experience, you know, what it's really like in there with people like that, it was very eye-opening and very cool to feel like I could hang just right alongside of her.
Yes, ma'am. You know, it's funny too because Trinity didn't come from like a wrestling background. You know, she was
Yeah.
thrust into like FCW and then NXT, and so see how she's transformed and adapted herself to television and all of that is awesome. And I'm so glad that she got to head up to you guys there around Chicago and all of that, especially with Ali. I know is huge in that scene as well. But what a cool learning opportunity, that you can kind of carry forth with you. I'm curious, is there like a particular aspect of that training session with Trinity that you specifically learned from, or you feel like you'll carry forth going on in your own work?
Um, I think just her showing up, honestly, it's just and Ali showing
Yeah.
up every week, even though he's accomplished so much already. It's like we're never done putting the work in. And that's like so obvious by so many people I'm surrounded by is the work is never ever done.
I know. And you've said before you are always striving to improve every time you're in that ring. So, what has been the most recent growth or aspect of improvement that you've seen in yourself and your own work?
I would say maybe just like my athleticism a little bit because you know I have to take a couple weeks off and I come back and so it's like
Yes.
I get somewhere and then I'm down and then I have to get back up there. But like training with Ali is like so insanely next level that it's just like really boosted my confidence because it's like the hell that I go through in those training sessions, like nothing could ever happen on a show that's going to be worse than that. So it's like I feel so much more prepared. And I'm like, you know what? If all else fails, I got it. I'm going to be okay. I got it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a kind of a mentality that, I mean, starting out, I can imagine you're probably timid and trying to adjust to everything going on now. So kind of throughout, you're coming up on 9 years now. On a broader spectrum, how do you think that you've grown and as a person and as a competitor over the entirety of your career so far?
Oh, just I'm a whole completely different person. Like if I don't know that I would ever think that I could make it to where I am now. Like if I had known when I started that I truly was going to do this forever, you know, like I'm already a decade in and we're only just getting started, you know, the end is nowhere in sight. And just to know that I could really find something I'm so passionate about and that I want to stick with forever and like find the people I'm surrounded by and everything. Like I feel like I have just so much everything in my life has like gotten better. Like I have to have, you know, my time had to get my time management skills together. You can't just be letting things float around and happen when they happen and like just scheduling and honestly just having my stuff together. That's I have never in my life before really had my life set and together and I feel like I really do now because I have to if I want to keep doing this and making money and have a long lasting career, you got to have it together.
Yeah, and kind of how, Athena was somebody who you look up to. A lot of girls now look up to you. You are the veteran in a lot of these scenarios. And I know you've been the first opponent for over a dozen girls. I don't know what the count is right now. As of 2021, it was 13. I'm sure it's gone up since then. But what
Yeah.
is your approach to these scenarios when you are the literal first opponent for women who are making their debut matches?
It is crazy to think like that I'm in that position now. Like I get girls messaging me asking for advice, asking me to watch their matches, just asking me what should I do or how do I do this? And I just never really because it's just like all of a sudden you look around and you're like, oh, now that's me.
Yeah.
That's great. I just try to remember like when I first started and how I was and where I was at. And I just try to make sure that they have like the best experience possible. Like I don't want to be that vet that's dogging them and telling
Yeah.
you suck and like trying to run their whole life or whatever. I just really want to know like I want to get to know them, who are you, and I want to help them. I just want them to walk away with something after a match with me. I don't want them to just be like, oh, well, that was a match I had. I want them to be like, oh, I understand this a little better, or like I get how to like line up certain moves, or like maybe I figured out like recently I put like a little character structure for somebody together, and then like after the match, they're like, I've never gotten a reaction like that, and it's never like worked out in this way for me. That's so cool. Thank you for like telling me that. I think it's very cool to be able to like do that for people.
Obviously, it can range per person and be specific per person, but what are some of the general advices that you find yourself kind of forwarding to some of the newer talent?
Mm, just like working hard, honestly. Like if you're truly putting in work into everything you do, like things are gonna happen, and you just got to keep consistent at it. I would say consistency and studying is like what I give the most, because you have to watch, you have to see what other people are doing and see what's working at other places and stuff, and then you have to like put in the work. You have to go to training, you have to go to the gym, and you know put in the work.
And you are certainly putting in the work. Like we said, coming up on 9 years, 2024 is right around the corner. What are some of your personal and professional goals for next year?
I actually haven't sat down and like thought of some real actual goals yet, but I feel like I just want to keep having fun. Like I don't ever want to get to that point to where it's like, oh, I don't want to go here. I don't want to do this. Like I just want to really put my time and energy into places that I'm having a good time at and that value me. And I feel like I have already been doing that like this last year, like being a regular at Glory Pro, at Freelance, being a champion there, and at Midwest All Star Wrestling up north. Like just places who really care about me and my growth as a person, as a wrestler. Like I want to keep doing that, and I want to because I wanted an ROH match. We got that this year. I wanted to win big gold at Freelance. We got that this year. So I just want to keep enjoying what I'm doing and not ever get too lost, too bogged down in what I should or what I think, what success, just be here right now, present.
And, talking about your growth, something that's remained, I feel like, consistent for a while. I wanted to close out with was your aesthetic in and outside of the ring. Character presentation is especially important in wrestling, and a lot of that is in the ring gear department, which, oh my God, like scrolling through your Instagram, girl, I was just like, blown away. It's like I'm not even wrestler, but like I want those gears, you have a really strong ring gear game. And I'm curious, you have Lucha Laynie, you have the Two Turnt Party Unicorn, and you have a couple other layers to yourself. What would you say are some of the general sources of inspiration when you're crafting or envisioning your ring gear designs? What does that process look like for you?
I mean, it's just a lot of scrolling Instagram, and I
That's fair.
see like one little aspect of someone's gear that I like, and I say, oh, I'll screenshot that, and then I'll see something else, or I'm just shopping and I see something cute or something that has a funky little shape, and I put all this stuff together and I throw it at Allie Parker, who's my usual gear maker, and she spits out some beautiful gear. And it's honestly just being able to afford the nice gear. Like back in my early career, I couldn't afford $400 sets of gear. I couldn't afford, and that's like bare minimum, right, for these nice things. So now just being in a place to where I'm making money, I'm working all the time, and I have these really nice places to show off this nice gear. Because you don't want to wear your best gear to like down the road 20 minutes and there's 10 people there, I don't want to do that. So having the presence and the financial stability to be able to buy any gear that my little brain can dream up, that's definitely a big reason. Because I've always like had all these amazing ideas for gear, but you just can't afford it all the time. But now we can.
Yeah. Is there a certain look that you feel especially kind of sentimental about, or you feel like you felt your best in, essentially?
I think when I switched up to like the half pant, half trunks
Yes.
ones, because like back in the day, all I would do is post my butt on Instagram to get some engagement and some likes. You got to do what you got to do, right? But I feel like I felt confident enough that I'm like, I can actually put this away and people will still care about me.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, because in my mind, in my head, I'm just like, oh, you're just like a hot girl, you have to look good and then they'll care about you. But just knowing that I have built myself and am talented enough that I actually don't need to do that. I could wrestle in pants and a t-shirt and they still, they'd still be there for me. So
That's good, and it's kind of a learning experience, and to each their own. I'm curious from your perspective, though. You said you're always scrolling on Instagram. I know that's a great place because you follow a lot of the people that you see. Who in the wrestling sphere do you think has the best ring gear game or aesthetic today?
hmm. Oh, there's just like so, because it's like I like so many different things
Yeah.
about other people's stuff. Like I like all the little details that Billy has on her. Like they're all kind of the same, but like they're
Yeah.
all different. And she has
Yeah.
like little things hanging off here and there. And I look at the Joshis a lot,
So
especially
does
because they have
Billy. So
so
yeah.
many fabrics and layers and cool little things hanging off. I I would say maybe like Julia, obviously she has a really sick, distinguished look. And I really am obsessed with Hyon and how her new jackets, her
Yeah.
entrance jackets, dude, like that really stepped her up to like superstar. She comes out of the curtain with that sick jacket, and you're just like, this is somebody. This is somebody, and she is somebody without the jacket. But it's just, yeah, I like so much from so many different people. I like the sparkles, I like the dark stuff some people do. I just like to take a little bit from everybody, everywhere.
Yeah, and to kind of close things out, I wanted to talk about some of your tattoos. I know we talked about, the importance of the flower that you've got going on your abdomen, but I'm curious, you have a tattoo that says Wanderlust on your arm. My brain can't comprehend. I think that's your right arm.
Is
Do you have a specific story behind this one?
Um, honestly, I think I just wanted something cutesy and cursive to go here. And I was like, well, I want to travel, right? Let's do
Yeah.
Wanderlust. And then it was just cute. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I think I had just named my German suplex Wanderlust too. And I said, well,
Yeah.
there you go. There it is.
There you go. You also have a really like intricate giraffe with like flowers on. I think on your other arm.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm seeing a theme with flowers. Can you talk about that giraffe with the flowers specifically too as well?
Yeah, the giraffe, I just wanted like a giraffe tattoo, but I didn't want it to just be a giraffe, because like
Yeah.
what are we doing here? It's art, let's make it a little cutesy or whatever. So the flowers weren't exactly like the main agenda, of the tattoo, but I just went in there to this guy, to this artist, and I said, I want a giraffe tattoo, but like I don't want it to just be a giraffe. And he said, how about we make it like little flowers and we do and XYZ, and he just drew it up, and I was like, wow, that's perfect. And I just giraffes are my favorite animal. I think they're so cute. And so it all came together.
There you go. Just like gear, I know tattoos are expensive, but you are always expanding your collection. Last question, do you have any plans for your next tattoo, maybe?
Oh my gosh, I do. I was actually just talking to Jen. I don't know if you've become aware of her at all. She's like a freelance student. She's been doing a lot of film for a lot of local promotions, and she's going to start getting out there soon. But she is also a very well seasoned and accomplished tattoo artist. So every time I see her, I'm like, hey, what do you think about like this? What do you think about like
Mhm.
this? So I'm thinking about, I want some finger tattoos on this hand to even it out a little bit.
Ooh,
So I think that might be what I focus on next, just some cutesy little things on there, but I also need something to even out this shoulder up here. And I think I want to do like your classic like barbed wire heart and like
yeah.
something wrestling related, like the turnbuckles or whatever lame thing I can throw in there. I think that's what's going to be next. Nothing big. I definitely need to finish this stomach tattoo,
Yeah.
but I just want to do all this other little stuff first.
Yeah, I mean, it's a work of art, and plus it's expensive. So like, I feel that.
Yeah.
But before we let you go, Lainey, can you please share where the listeners can find you online and support you?
Yes. Oh my gosh. You can follow me on all my socials at Laynie Luck, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you want to support monetarily, you can go to my Patreon. And if you want to support even more financially, you can go to my OnlyFans because that's how I pay so many of my bills and get to afford all this very nice gear. OnlyFans.com/Laynie Luck is the main spot.
I've seen you've been doing some collabs recently with other people that we love, like Heather Monroe and Shazza McKenzie. So
Yeah.
go follow and support Lainey, whether it's a t-shirt or otherwise. Just follow her in general. Lainey, thank you so much for chatting with me here today. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Thank you for having me.